I'm Lewis.
Ja.
And today we're going to be talking about heart versus mind.
Heart versus mind.
Yeah. So, I'm on team mind.
And I'm on team heart.
And I guess I'll start.
Okay. And tell me why the mind is better than the heart.
The mind is better than the heart. Alright, so I get a lot of arguments saying that, the heart has brain cells. And it does, right? Yeah?
I agree.
Now, even though the heart has brain cells, it's also not the only vital organ that has brain cells. So does the stomach.
Correct.
And so do the balls, or all the, reproductive areas. Now, all these things have brain cells, but the brain is completely comprised of it, obviously. And on top of that, even if signals are being sent out from one of these places, and you would consider that would be normal. Like when you want to, bound chicka wow wow, there are signals that are sent. When you're starving and need to eat, there are signals that are sent. When you are feeling something emotional, like for example, if you go through a breakup, right? The heart, you can feel it. You can feel it. If it's a bad breakup and you're hurting, your chest actually hurts. And that's because it can store memory. And I'm not denying that the heart's not a powerful thing. What I'm saying is everything is relayed from the brain. The brain is the seat of the soul. It begins and ends there. Without where your consciousness is, there is nothing else. So from consciousness comes all other things. So you got to ask yourself, where does consciousness sit? Where does it live? Where does it lay?
That's a good question. Where does consciousness sit and live? They
Within-
have not proved
within
it to
the
live
mind.
in. They have not proved that.
You can't prove consciousness because consciousness is completely it's unknowable. It's essentially God. That is my belief on what God is. It is consciousness, and you cannot fully understand consciousness. So consciousness could reside in every part. But if you look at all the doctrines and stuff that have been laid out through the years, chakras, the Bible, all of it says it's up here, single eye. God lives where Jesus can be found in the temple built without human hands. Where's that?
I've seen portraits of Jesus
Huh.
with the heart showing,
But
with
that's
the
not
crown
where-
around it. I haven't seen pictures of Jesus with his brain showing. I've seen pictures of his heart portrayed, but not his brain.
The general consensus is that, sure, you've seen these pictures with these hearts around it and stuff like that. General love chakra, the energy of love, because Jesus taught love. Now, what I'm saying is, he said, if you want to see God, you have to look within yourself.
Right.
And if thine eye be single, your whole body shall be filled with light. God is light.
Okay.
So therefore, the only place where all reality can stem from is the mind.
What are you looking in yourself with?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
God said, look within yourself.
Yes.
With what? Are you using your third eye to look within yourself? What are you using to look within yourself? Are you using your mind to look within yourself? And perhaps you'll find your heart.
You'll find your consciousness is with what'll look within yourself. But at the same time, you say, can you find? Will you find your heart? Well, you will not only find your heart, but you'll find the 6 other chakras that exist. And that would be the one in your stomach, the solar plexus. All right, that'll be the man, I can't remember the name. Threw me off, but it's the orange
like the
one.
asshole.
The
Got
orange.
one.
No, the asshole is the sacral.
You got
Then
your
it's something
private.
else: solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown.
Right.
And it goes in ascending order on relevance, importance. So my point, and probably the biggest one, is that it is here, and the mind is here, a whole 2 levels higher.
There's one above the mind.
There is, but we're
We're talking about the
is
mind.
heart
Okay.
versus mind.
Okay, you're right. Okay.
The mind is superior to the heart by 2 degrees, by 2 whole levels. Because from your heart is absolute love. And absolute love is not a good thing. It's not. You can love a bunch of things. And absolute love is a horrible thing.
I wouldn't say it's horrible. I would say that absolute love is the most powerful thing. You can make anything happen. If you have purity in your heart and you have that love in your heart, you can make more positive things happen for yourself than negative.
Well, see,
I mean, you can sit there and say I'm a piece of shit and make yourself negative all day. You can do that.
But I can also
But
sit there and
if you were positive and say I'm not a piece of shit and I'm worth something and I could do something, that positive energy will work a lot better than that negative energy because it comes from your heart.
But I could also say, in the same sentence, I love doing terrible things, and being a bad person makes me feel better. Absolute love is a horrible thing because unconditional love
I mean, what's your definition?
has no condition.
What's your definition of terrible unless you don't want to say it?
We can say murder.
You want to murder people.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Well,
When
you
I
said
what I said was
bad things bring you pleasure. What bad things?
no, not me personally. I mean, but then again, I'm not gonna confirm or deny anything. But
So like watching somebody get murdered or something.
well, let's say watching porn. That's immoral. It's immoral. It's immoral. I don't care what nobody says. It is immoral. I do it. I don't care. I'm not afraid to admit it. If you don't do it, there's probably something wrong with you.
I'm pretty sure everybody watches porn
I mean,
to some degree.
To some degree, or at least half.
Huh.
Let's say I take enjoyment in watching it every now and then, right?
Mm.
If I had an unconditional love for it, that would be a bad thing. So what I'm saying is unconditional love, absolute love, is not a good thing. But complete consciousness, awareness, thoughtfulness, that is a good thing. So then again, on another level, the heart is lower than the mind. And the heart actually needs the next one to express itself. Otherwise you get unconditional, and unconditional is a bad thing.
Why does I understand words being spoken coming from your throat, your atoms.
But it's not
your
just
atoms apple,
words,
but
it's magic.
your voice box. But
You ever heard of speak it into existence?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and the way
the
that
Bible even says that the first thing was, God spoke the word. First thing was the word. And he said, let there be this, let there be that. That was his word, and he spoke it. So almost every religion believes that the first thing was a word or vibration, which is what
yes.
a word is.
the
It's
first thing that
vibration,
happened
sound.
was a sound.
Yeah, sound.
Absolutely.
Right. About everybody believes that. And I agree. And I'm sure it was.
My personal belief
I wasn't
is that
there.
the first sound was
And a lot of people believe that too.
I believe that.
The whole omen sound, I've heard that too. Not omen, but om. I don't get into it.
It's actually AUM. There are reasons to it. There's creation, preservation, and then destruction, or recreation. But
Okay. That's good talking too.
yeah, it's great to know.
Alright.
Very, very.
So we got about we're at 9.5 minutes. We got 10 minutes left.
I've spoke my piece. You speak yours.
Okay. Now I feel like the heart is better than the mind because your instinct comes from your heart. Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't.
When you're hold on.
Mm-hmm.
When you're taking a test and the teacher says just go with your gut, go with your first answer. Don't second guess yourself. That first isn't your gut. That's your heart telling you this is the answer. You use your mind to say no, I don't. I think that might be right, but it might not be, and then you might pick something else and be wrong. Okay. When you somebody calls you up and says, hey, let's go out and do this. Your heart says, that's not a good idea. Your mind says, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go out and we're gonna have some fun. We see some, do strippers or whatever. I like strippers. Personal shit. But I mean, whatever you prefer. I mean, now there have been cases in reincarnation where they have tested kids who remember past lives. There was a particular incident where a girl had died and she was an organ donor, and another girl had got her heart, okay, and she lived. She survived the operation. And this girl started having nightmares, and she started dreaming about this guy
who killed her.
Yeah, who killed her.
All right.
You heard about the story, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then the guy chased her down the woods and said shit to her, whatever. Now, they eventually did a sketch. I don't want to skip too much through the story, but eventually they got a sketch of the guy, the parents took her to a doctor and then a psychiatrist and then eventually the police. And then the police made a sketch with the guy that she described, and they actually found the guy that fit the description, asked the guy and quoted what she said, and he broke down in tears, admitted to the murder, and was arrested.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Through a heart transplant. So her memory was in her heart. Not all of her memories. I'm not saying all of them. Okay. But her last, memory was in her heart.
Well.
Okay.
All right. Whatever.
It is also scientifically proven that the heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart.
Right.
Okay. And there are beliefs where you can focus your consciousness into your heart and allow yourself to control your brain, because your brain is sporadic and does whatever. That's why meditation is necessary, so you can get rid of all the nonsense. Otherwise, you're full of nonsense. Hold on, let me finish. Otherwise, you're full of nonsense. Okay? Now, your heart is the only thing not full of nonsense. Your brain is thinking about what you're smoking, what you're watching, what your phone is doing, who fucking hit a like on Facebook. That's all your brain. Your brain's worried about that bullshit. Okay? Mm-hmm. Your heart only cares about what's good for you, truly. Therefore, the heart is more powerful. The heart has been, there's waves they see kicked on. There's waves that have been measured that come off of the heart.
Allow me a time.
There's not waves that have been measured that come off of the brain.
Allow me a time to rebuttal real quick.
One last thing, and then you can rebuttal all you want.
All right.
The machine was like a certain distance that it measured, and the heart went through the whole distance. So if they had a machine that could measure further, they don't know how far the waves, the energy that comes out of your heart actually goes. You could think of somebody in another state and send that positivity. Not with your brain.
You're right.
With your heart.
All right.
Now you can rebuttal.
Now, we're going to go back to the part where you were talking about the girl. All right? The girl who had her heart replanted or whatever.
Right.
I said that it can carry memories, right? That is not anything that is better than what the brain is, because if you had a brain transplant, I'm pretty sure the whole consciousness goes. Now, so already right there, you've been disproved.
Not necessarily. How do you know the whole consciousness goes? Maybe the memory.
If I take your brain,
not the spirit. Do you think your spirit leaves?
You said I have all the time to rebuttal.
Okay, go ahead.
If you take your brain and put it in a machine, keep it alive, the consciousness goes with it. End of story.
Proven how? Who proved that? That's your theory. Okay.
Oh, that's my theory. You're right.
Theory.
You're correct. You're correct.
Okay.
It's my theory, and like a multitude of others.
Okay.
Everyone knows that. Everyone has come to the agreement that consciousness sits in the soul, or sits in the seat of the soul, which is pineal gland, which is in the head. That's a very major, point. The next part, you said that you can actually meditate to put your consciousness in your heart to experience this unconditional love, right?
Absolutely.
I am not
I didn't say to experience unconventional love.
What's
I said to shift your consciousness to your heart.
To your heart.
Because your heart sends more signals to your brain. And
right.
if you can shift your consciousness to
That's
your heart,
That's
then you
a great
can tell
point.
yourself to heal.
Of course your heart would send more signals to the brain than the brain says to the heart. Because the only thing the brain gives about to blank myself out, to the heart is pump, 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 pump. That's it. That's all the brain needs to tell the heart is pump, pump, pump. The heart needs to tell the brain, hey, this doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good. You know what? I think one of these veins over here might be messed up because it cares about you. So of course it's going to send more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart, because the brain doesn't need to send those signals. All it needs to do is pump, 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 pump.
So you believe the brain controls your heart?
Yes.
How?
Well, let's see. For Wim Hof.
You know, your
Wim
heart
Hof.
is an involuntary movement. You cannot.
So is your
Some people
autoimmune.
can
So
with
is your
meditation.
autoimmune. Yeah, exactly.
But
you can't
you cannot-
control the heart through meditation.
Through
You can
meditation.
slow down your heartbeat through breathing. So you can
But
consciously
who's to
control
say
the
you
brain.
didn't shift into that heart and control the heart? How you gonna control something that you're not inside of?
You can do it. You can do it just through your breaths alone. If you are having a panic attack, your heart's going do, 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 do. I've just controlled my heart through my mind, through this. So I've used this to go down
You
to
didn't
my
use your
heart.
mind, you used your lungs.
I use my mind to control my breath, which is my throat, to control my heart.
You use the Wim Hof method, which is using your lungs.
Yeah, well, it does, but
You didn't use your mind.
the mind did it.
No, you.
So you can't. You're
you
saying
told
you're
your
not
lungs
conscious. Yeah,
to
I
inhale.
told my lungs
And then you told them to exhale.
With
But in
my
the order
mind.
you told them to.
with my mind.
You can't tell your heart to just stop
I can tell
and
it.
then the beat.
I can
and
tell
then
it to
skip a
slow
beat.
down. I can tell it to speed up.
I bet you if we put
I
some
can-
fucking monitors, you ain't controlling your heart like you think you can. I mean, you can get excited by thinking of something,
exactly.
and then get it excited,
And then I can get it to go back
and
down.
then you can
right?
try to calm yourself down.
I can do both. Can
But
I
you
not?
cannot without trying to think of different things.
But it doesn't matter. The point is, I can
Your heart doesn't beat
control
with your
it.
permission.
I can control
It
it.
beats because it's in control
Yeah,
of itself.
Well, even if it's in control of itself, I can regulate how fast and how slow.
I don't agree.
But that's science.
You can no, that ain't even science. You
Yes,
can
it is.
regulate how fast and how slow for a moment in time when you meditate.
So it doesn't
But
matter.
on a daily basis, you can't.
Well, it's
While
auto.
you're at
Why should
work
I have
and
to
you're-
think about it?
While
I
you're
have
at work,
better things.
you ain't running your heart.
'Cause I
Your
shouldn't
heart
have
is
to.
running you.
No, it's just running. It's
And
not
if it
running
quits,
me.
if it quits,
Well,
it
that-
don't
hey, that's-
supply the brain with what it needs.
It,
so
it's giving me
your
before it
conscience
quits. It's gonna
is
give me. It's gonna
irrelevant.
give the brain information that it's about to quit. It's gonna say, "Hey, I'm dying."
what your brain gonna do about it? Oh
Go to
no,
the
I
doctor.
said don't die.
Call the
I
doctor.
control you, heart.
Find
no,
a way.
No, fuck that. I control you, heart. Keep eating, keep eating, keep eating.
You-
Heart said, nope, it's a wrap. I'm done.
All
I'm
right.
checking out.
All right. So, the end all is the heart is practically an irrelevant point because you can get a heart transplant.
Damn.
You can get a heart
And
transplant.
you're gonna.
You can't get a brain transplant. You can't do it. So there's another point why the mind is
You
superior
probably
to the
could get a
heart.
brain transplant.
No,
We
you
don't
can't.
know what people have.
How
done.
can you get a brain transplant? The only thing you're going to transfer your brain
You
to
have
is a
no
computer
idea.
chip.
Me and you both know that there's shit done that we don't know about.
I
How
mean,
do
if
you
you
know
can
they
transfer your
have never
consciousness to another
successfully-
person, that is amazing.
That's not a brain transplant. A brain transplant is
then
taking a brain
then the
from
consciousness
one body
goes with it.
and putting it into another body,
Then the
and then that
consciousness
body
goes with
living.
That
no,
consciousness
that body
goes with
living. It
Which
doesn't have to have
means you
consciousness.
are your
It doesn't even
mind.
have to open its fucking eyes. As long as the heart beats and it breathes, boom. The heart did its fucking, or the brain did its job. It got that body going. It
So you're
doesn't have
saying
to
that the
even say
mind
that.
is the only reason the heart exists?
No,
That's what I just. That's
no,
what I just
that's
heard.
what you heard because that's what all you hear.
That's what you just said. You said the brain got into another body and the body started. The brain did its job. You just said, with your own words, the mind is superior to the heart because
The heart
you
would
do
have-
not need the
Okay.
heart for
You
the
need
mind.
The heart.
The mind is the
You
end.
need the blood in your brain.
The only thing above the mind is the crown, and the crown is pure consciousness. It's God. That is the only thing superior to the mind.
All right, where are we at?
We are about done.
Oh yeah, we're about done. All right, well we gotta wrap it up.
We're gonna leave it to y'all to decide. Please, leave a comment, a like, maybe a share.
Ain't nobody watching this shit, huh?
Hey,
I
somebody
love
watch
y'all.
it.
Peace
Gotta
out.
do it. Bye.